Guys, the beast is back. IPL 2020 begins in the UAE this Saturday. And in this video, I'm going to just run through each team, their makeup, and what I think. We'll talk about the strengths, the weaknesses, and just we'll discuss away. So let's begin with the Mumbai Indians. Man, just there's no weakness in this team. It's virtually perfect. You've got two world-class openers. Explosive world-class openers with high averages. I mean, what more could you bloody ask for? Yeah, phenomenal. Then the guy who I think isn't going to get as much hype around him, but he should be getting all the hype in the world, is Ishan Kishan. I think he's a phenomenal batsman. And if you've seen the thing with Mumbai Indians, man, they've got like a strong core contingent. You know, you've got Rohit, you've got the Pandya brothers, you've got Pollard, of course, Bumrah, all of this kind of thing. So you've got like a few spaces which are always solid. And then you've got such bench strength. So Ishan Kishan has been he plays for a few matches, then he doesn't. He plays for a few matches, but he doesn't. But this guy, he's explosive. He's the kind of guy who comes in and strikes at 200. Yeah, it's not like an accumulator. He's a quality batsman, and I think this could be the IPL where everyone's like, whoa, how the hell has this guy been flying under the radar? I hope they play him. By the way, this is all these lineups which I just pulled from ESPN Cricinfo, and this is just Akash Chopra, who he would pick as his starting 11. It's not necessarily who I'd pick as the starting 11, but virtually I've looked at the team, it's almost bang on. But we get the idea of what the team's like. So yeah, Surya Kumar Yadav, solid batsman. I think the smartest restriction which was made at the start of the IPL was that you can only have 4 overseas players, which essentially made it an Indian Premier League because you have to find 7 Indian players in there. So obviously Rohit Sharma, he's the kind of and Bumrah, they're the kind of batsmen. They're players you'd have in there even if it was a World 11 and you had all the money in the world. So, but to have someone like Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan in the middle, oh my god, man, they're brilliant ones. Then you've just got that explosive lower order. But again, with that explosiveness, these aren't little cameo players. Pollard, Hardik, and Krunal, you could be 3-4 down, and these are the guys you would. They have the game to rescue you, and all 3 of them have in the past. I mean, I think one of the best innings I've ever watched in my life was, I'm pretty sure it was last IPL. It was the one where Hardik scored like 90 runs off 35, 38 balls. Oh my god, man, the clean hitting. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, you could not have a better lower middle order. It's brute force. It's quality brute force. And then you get into the bowling department. Now, even as I go into this, yeah, I can't believe I've got Pollard and the Pandya brothers, they're bowlers. These are all, maybe Pollard less so, but of those 3, these can give you these are the bowlers who you could easily go for 4 overs. All of them could bowl their full quota. And to be honest, Pollard in the CPL, I know it's not of the same quality of the IPL. He bowled, I think in 2 matches, he took 3 and 4 wickets apiece. Match-winning performances with the ball. And he's got all the experience in the world. Then look at this, man, the bowling. Jasprit Bumrah, walking to any side. The best, I'm just thinking actually, the best fast bowler in T20, in my opinion. Rashid Khan might be number 1 in terms of bowlers. Yeah, but my point is world class. And then, okay, 2 interesting overseas bowler picks. You got Coulter and you got Bolt. I think Coulter-Nell's underrated. I think if you guys remember a few years back, he was with KKR, and he bowled. There was a match against RCB where KKR had got a crap team. Gambir, who was captain then, he just went into that dressing room. He goes, guys, today if you guys slack, yeah, because we need to bowl out of our skins. He goes, I want 100% from all of you. Any sort of crap from you, any, like, you know, just bowling it just to get through that quote is not giving you 100%. You risk losing your place. So he wanted them fired up, and Coulter, he broke the back of RCB. He just tore through them. And yeah, I mean, he's not been consistent, but there's something about him, man. He's a wicket taker. He's your wicket taking option. You've also got the others as well. Trent Boult, I don't think he's brilliant in the IPL game. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but I can only go off what I've seen. But again, man, he gives you that left-handed option. He is a world-class bowler, at least in tests and ODIs experience. And so yeah, I mean, you just can't fault the choice. And then Rahul Chahar, brilliant player last year. He was constantly taking wickets. His economy rate was down. And this is a guy, you've got I'm pretty sure Mumbai Indians also have Mayank Makande, the other leggy, basically as well. And he had a brilliant 2018 IPL. But this Mumbai Indians team is so strong, it's just difficult to get a spot. So okay, yeah, I expect them to win. I'll be straight with you. I expect them to win it if I had to take a pick. But saying that, there's some serious talking points in the other teams as well. And next we go on to Chennai Super Kings. Dad's Army, Tala's Army. Call it what you will, man. They've got all the experience in the world. I mean, look at these players. Apart from Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur, I don't know why I'm stuttering. I'm of Indian descent. I can say them like this. Every single player here is an experienced campaigner. Most of them have been playing at the international level. They've been mainstays in their teams over years. Others who haven't, they're IPL veterans. They've tried and tested. They've done brilliant season after season after season. But I mean, like, make no mistake about it, man. I mean, these guys are old. Now, I think everyone was surprised in 2018 with how strongly they did, given how old they were. Never forget, man. You know, this is sport. This is a physical sport. And with the age, trust me, even I'm starting to kind of feel it now in my 30s. You know, man, you still have that. And you just, oh, man. So, you know, it's they had a brilliant. They came as close to winning last year's IPL as well, as close as you can get anyway without winning it. But I think I don't want to write him off, because I would have said 2018 and 2019. I would have said the same thing. I go, man, they're getting old. Yeah, this is you need vim, you need vigor. But yeah, I don't expect them to do. I expect them to get to the playoffs. Dhoni always takes them to the playoffs, and they've got all the experience in the world. Jesus Christ, why am I sitting on the fence? They might win it. I don't know, man. I don't know. No, I don't think they'll win it. I think they'll finish third or fourth in the group stages, and then I think they'll be knocked out in the eliminator, the first eliminator, and that'll be the end of this. But yeah, other points. I mean, let's speak about the team quickly. Man, this IPL, it's all eyes on Dhoni. I've always said, obviously, if you kind of follow my other non-YouTube places, you know Dhoni is my favourite cricketer of all time. I have said, if reincarnation is real, I hope to come back in the next life as Dhoni. Usually when I say that, people are like, what are you talking about? It doesn't work like that. I don't care, man. That's how much I love the guy. He's announced retirement. We're never going to be seeing him in India colours again, so this is our last chance to see him. Yeah, I'm going to be watching every CSK match because I adore him. I love him. There's no denying, over the last few years, even in international cricket, as a batsman, not as a wicketkeeper, not as what he contributes towards strategy, towards the team, but as a batsman, just love, man. I mean, there's better batsmen out there. But I never cared. I always wanted Dhoni in there because I just love Dhoni. I guess that's just how it is. But I mean, let's have a look. Shane Watson's back. Didn't have a good year last year, but then he just kind of pulled it out near the end. Raidu, Faf's been having a horrible time in international cricket. So I'm just... And Dhoni, Yadav, these guys have not been playing too much cricket. Obviously, everyone's not been playing too much cricket. But these guys really haven't, as in, given the corona. But these guys have not been playing for a while. They're getting old. I don't know, man. Fine, I'm gonna move on as well. Okay, Dwayne Bravo. Yeah? I've never actually rated him very highly. I don't know why. I just don't think with the ball he's that good, and everyone calls him that great a death bowler. I've seen him go many times, but I've seen him hold it as well. Batsman, he's okay. In my eyes, he's like 120, 130 strike rate guy at the best of times. But he's tried and tested, he's proven. Jadeja, I don't think he's very good in the T20 world. I think his bowling is predictable, but with experience, he still manages to keep his economy rate down. His batting is, again, he's another 130 strike rate kind of guy. But, yeah, Deepak Chahar's been doing really well recently. Yeah, Imran Tahir, I do believe he's going to be the X factor again this year. He's 41, that old bag. But he's getting wickets. Over the last, even since, last 2 years, when he's been 39, 40, now he's 41, he's topping wicket-taking charts in all the leagues. So yeah, I expect them to do well, but man, 1 year, age has to catch up with them. I expect it to be this year, though I said it last year too. Okay, RCB. Virat Kohli, led by Virat Kohli. This year's Sachin Tendulkar. But if you ask me, I know, blasphemy, he's better than Tendulkar ever was, man. He is the man. He is the number one. That said, I hate RCB. I always want to lose. I get pleasure in it. But the balance of the team seems to be better this year than previous. So Aaron Finch opening, solid opener. But then you got this crappy second opening spot. Parthiv Patel is not good. He's never been good. I remember watching him in 2008 when India went to Australia and he was their chosen wicketkeeper. Like, surely there has to be someone better than this midget. Is there no one else in this country? But his experience gives you that left-hand, right-hand opening combination. But I think they've got a serious weakness in the second opener. Then you got Kohli, De Villiers. Dream middle order, to be honest. Moeen Ali. I think he's a brilliant pick to have in a team like this. Moeen can play. Moeen knows how to strike. Moeen's at 200 strike rate kind of guy. Maybe not that high, but like 160, 170, 180 when it gets going. And I think the UAE pitches will suit him. We'll see. Moeen's all over the shop with the ball, If he's on song, he's a good bowler, man. He's a wicket-taking option. He'll keep the runs down. But when he's not on song, he can't bat to save his life. And he can't bowl to restrict runs, let alone take wickets. But there's something I like about Moeen Ali. There's something I've always liked about Moeen Ali. Yeah, top notch. Shivam Dube, I don't think he's that good. I know he can hit the ball a decent bit, but his bowling, man, that's just asking to get smacked around. He's a weak all-round option for me. Sundar, quality bowler, can bat a bit as well. That's not bad. Chris Morris. I mean, I definitely have him in the team. Yeah, he's a solid all-rounder. He's got that heart. He bowls with heart, man. He takes, he can change the match. He's a wicket taker. And when he gets striking, he can tonk the ball. Morris is a weird one. It's like I watch him and I know he's got a history of I'm talking like match-winning performances with the bat. But it's like every time I see him, I see his technique, I'm like, yeah, but he's not going to do it again. Because I just don't believe he's got the talent. But he's proven, man. It doesn't matter what I think. So, I don't know about Morris. I think he's going to have an average season. You know what? I think he's going to have a bad season because RCB is poison. You can get together the greatest batting teams and they somehow collapse. If I was a player, They're like, would you like to play for RCB versus one of the others? No, man. They'll tank my career. I'll do terrible. No chance. So yeah, Chahal. I mean, I've never thought of Chahal the same as Kuldeep. But he's a brilliant pick for the team. I'd have him, because he's an Indian option. He's a brilliant option. Do I think he's going to do well? Yeah, I do. And I think he's going to be a strong leggy. Even in the years when RCB were just doing crap, he stayed in there. Navdeep Saini and Umesh Yadav or Mohammad Siraj. I hope they don't do Mohammad Siraj. The thing with Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Siraj, they leak runs like nuts. If they don't get it right, they can take wickets. Umesh Yadav has the ability to break a top order batting lineup, but he does it about 1 in 9 times. So I think you've got a really weak seamer option there. I really do. It's the thing with RCB, man. It's they always concede runs, and as I look at this bowling lineup, I think it's going to be another year of conceding runs, and I don't think they're going to the playoffs. And I'll enjoy seeing them not go to the playoffs because for some reason I hate RCB. Navdeep Saini, not a bad option. He's played a few matches for India, so I think his confidence is going to be up. Same captain, Kohli as well, of course. But yeah, I don't know what it is about wearing red, sort of that blue, that navy black sort of thing. You put that jersey on, you become a crapper player. Okay, don't expect them to do well. Kolkata Knight Riders, historically my favourite team. I've always loved KKR. However, I've always disliked Dinesh Karthik. There's something about him, man. Even when he broke on. I mean, when did he first appear in the India team? Something like 2004, 2005. It's a long time. He's been around. He's an experienced campaigner. Never liked him. Never thought he was good. Still not convinced he's good. But I do believe he's a lot better recently in the last few years as a finisher. And he gets a crazy amount of support from the Indian fans. I think it was like a few years back, maybe like 4 or 5 years, and I think it was for maybe like around that time. For years, people have been screaming, why is Dinesh Karthik not in the India team? Why is Dinesh Karthik not in the India team? And the whole way I was like, don't let that idiot, I do not want to see him in the India team because he's not match winner, man. He's crap. There's better players out there. That said, look, over the last few years, there's something which I've actually changed my tune to some extent. In that, I think there's, he is good at that finishing level. He knows how to play at the T20 game. He's not phenomenal in my opinion. But I think the worst thing about Dinesh Karthik is the captaincy. There's something about him, man. He doesn't strike like a strong, solid captain. Certainly not in the way like Rohit and Dhoni do. Kohli, I think, for RCB is just too erratic. I don't know why. I think he's a brilliant captain for India. I really do. Though I do wish he stopped tinkering so much. I think he's a brilliant captain. But Dinesh Karthik, he's not, simply put, okay? But let's have a look at the team now. Shubman Gill, I cannot wait to watch him. From what I've seen, he seems like he's going to be in the India team soon. He's going to break in and he's going to keep that spot. And I think of the next generation, how I think every generation of the last few generations of India have had this like strong batting lineup, So when you go back to the like Dravid, Tendulkar, Lakshman, Sehwag, and even Ganguly, that core star-studded lineup of batsmen. I think Shubman Gill will be in that kind of solid set of batsmen very soon because I think he's absolute class. I expect him to do really well, and I think he's going to do fantastic. Then the second opener, I love this is what I love about KKR, man. Sunil Narayan, he bats one way, and that's blockbuster, man. Sunil Narayan is that guy you pay to see. I love watching this guy. Bat and ball, I love him. I absolutely adore him. So I think you've got the most watchable, at least from the team so far. This is the opening partnership I want to watch over all the others. Fireworks at one end. And when Sunil Narayan goes, oh, he's a joy to watch. Number 3, Nitish Rana. Brilliant player. A brilliant middle order Indian batsman. What was it like? I think it was 2-3 years ago or something. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You know, I think he was with Mumbai Indians then. But wow, man, he had genuine consistency. He could hit the ball. He wasn't just the one who could just attack the players, you know, Indian bowlers, the ones who had to be there to make up the quota of 7 batsmen. This guy, he's a quality batsman. Then you have Karthik. I don't know, man. He's a good player, but there's something I don't like about him. I just think I think he just holds the team back. Owen Morgan, give him the captaincy. Quality batsman. Put him at number 4. Yeah, quality batsman. Yeah, I'm glad. I really do hope Owen Morgan is played. Yeah, I really do. I think he's a brilliant batsman. Andre Russell, man. Number 1 test player ever. Or at least now. I mean, okay, I'm jumping to... I haven't really given that a proper thought. Yeah. Blockbuster. This is why I love the KKR team. Gill, Narayan, hopefully Morgan, Russell. Top shelf entertainment. I'm just gutted they lost Uthappa, you know. I think he was... And, you know, that Gambhir retired. And I used to love this team. But Dinesh Karthik... I don't know, man. Since he's going to become captain, I just kind of find it hard to rally behind. Then you got a weak spot, Rinku Singh or Siddesh Lad or Rahul Tripathi. You're not going to expect too many runs from. I'm pretty sure Tripathi bowls a bit. You're not going to expect too many overs from them either. And you shouldn't, ideally you don't rely on any of them. Okay, then you got the bowling. Pat Cummins, really good player to have. Yeah, world-class bowler. And he's proven on India pitches, man. When he's came to India, he's bowled well. Not been bowling too well in the England-Australia series, but I expect him to come out, play really well for KKR. Again, the reason I think this team, so I don't think KKR will make it to the playoffs this year, by the way, even though I speak so highly, just because I think Dinesh Karthik, I don't know, man, I just think there's something about him he shouldn't be captain. Kuldeep Yadav, man, for the first 2 or 3 years he was phenomenal, but Dinesh Karthik, right before the 2019 World Cup, he was managed he was managed terribly in the IPL. It's done something to his confidence. And again, why I do not like Dinesh Karthik. I want to see Kuldeep back, man. I want to see mentally something's gone. He's lost that X factor. It's not his skills, man. Just something about him, his rhythm, his self-belief, backing himself. Something's gone weak. And I don't necessarily believe that he's going to have a great IPL. And it annoys me. Rashid Krishna. Really good bowler. Really good bowler. And if you're basically, if you got to make... Whoopsie there, folks. I've got a call. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Alright, so where was I? Prasidh Krishna. Man, he's had some really good spells in the IPL. Really good spells. I hope he does well. Again, for some reason, I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like Dinesh Karthik just screws up the dressing room. And it's funny, actually, I forgot to completely talk about Andre Russell and Dinesh Karthik's fallouts. Apparently, it was clear they had a fallout. Russell was open about it. He's just like, look, man, he goes, as a captain, this guy is not the right guy. Apparently, they've patched it up. But, it's always said like that. We'll see. Okay, so Krishna, good pick. Then you got a choice between Shivam, Mavi and Kamlesh. Now, I know Mavi was in the under-19s winning team a few years back. And him with Naga Koti down here as well. They were considered like, these, the proper pace. Every time I've seen him bowl, he's bowled crap. There's nothing about him which I've seen that says, quality bowler. But he is young, that doesn't mean, there's obviously going to be pressure of kind of playing at the men's game as opposed to the under-19s game. So who knows, man? Maybe he blossoms. I don't expect him to, though, man. Everything I've seen, I've just seen nothing good of him. Then the player who I'm interested about. So this is flip up between Sandeep Warrior, who, to be honest, from everything I've seen in past IPLs, he's not a match winner. So give the ball to Nagarkoti. So he was picked up a couple years back by KKR, who picked up, 3 young guns from the under-19 winning team. One was obviously Gill, who's been phenomenal, Mavi, who's been not phenomenal, and then Nagarkoti, who's really considered the main speed demon of the under-19 team. But he's been injured. He's just been sitting on the bench, collecting a nice fat check whilst he heals up, which is not his fault, But yeah, I'm really interested to see how he'll do. Hopefully it's in the light of he follows Shubman and not Mavi. But yeah, Kolkata, I expect them to do crap. Probably finish like 6th. I expect 6th. They do well 5th. Okay, Sunrisers. I've always liked Sunrisers. But the main thing with them, really crap lower or mid-lower order. Really crap. So they've probably got the best opening partnership in my eyes. Bairstow and Warner. Jesus, they were good last year. And if they weren't, they were stratospherically good. Amazing. And had they not been, oh my God, Sunrisers' campaign last year would have been an embarrassment. Because everyone who follows is awful. Pandey isn't awful, by the way. Pandey isn't awful. But he doesn't have that proper firepower. He's still not got that level of consistency you'd hope for. He plays some phenomenal innings from time to time. And he won KKR the title with an amazing innings. Around 2014, I think. Yeah, so he's got it. But he's never really got to that high level. I think he's a great batsman, but I don't know, man. There's just something missing. I think I wish he actually got more of a run in the one-day team, but 2020, I don't know. I wouldn't place him out there. Vijay Shankar, the man who should never have been in Indian colours, should never have been in the Indian squad in the World Cup recently, but he's an okay batsman who, when he hits the ball well, hits it cleanly, but generally just doesn't have that bigger range of shots. Just he doesn't have the X factor, and as a bowler he's nothing either. So yeah, don't expect much from him. Virat Singh, it's nothing. Look, man, you can call he's got the same first name as the best batsman in the world across all formats. Steve Smith is the number 1 in Test. He may share the name Virat, but that does not make him of the same quality. Yeah? If it worked like that, I would change my first name to Mandingo. So another weak middle order option. Then you've got Priyam Garg, Abhishek Sharma, Abdul Samad, one of these two. I don't even know who they are. So you got another weak option. Maybe one of them maybe someone's picked and they're like the breakout performance. But let's face it, it's not going to be. You have got a really weak 3 there, and Manish Pandey isn't top level. You got after the openers, you got weakness. Javi do have a brilliant bowling lineup. Nabi can hit, and there's something about Nabi. He's known as the president. Yeah, the president. His economy rate is low, and he takes wickets. He's a brilliant. I think he's going to be brilliant. I hope he's not chopped and changed, man. I really hope he's not chopped and changed. Rashid Khan, which team would not pick Rashid Khan? Last IPL was an interesting one. He didn't take that many wickets, but the reason he's no longer he didn't take that many wickets last season was he's too difficult to play. So, batsmen from the other team have just decided, look, just play him out, man. Just don't go for too many runs. Just keeps taking our wicket and going for no runs just so we're really safe. That's a dream kind of player to have in a 2020 match. To have 20 overs, to have 4 overs where the team does not want to score from. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, brilliant bowler in this format. Just got better and better with age, and I think for the last 4-ish years he's been absolutely phenomenal. You've got 2 world-class options, Bhuvaneshwar and Rashid Khan, and Nabi is brilliant. You've got 3 brilliant bowling options there. Khalil Ahmed, He's not bad, man. He's not bad, and he's the left arm as well. So you've got that different angle. And certain batsmen, they just do not play left arm seam well. I think if Khalil was with RCB, he'd do terribly. But I think there's something about the Sunrisers team makeup, which kind of gives them it's almost like that supportive one. I think it brings out the best in a lot of these bowlers. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on them as well. I think that weak middle order probably helps the bowlers, because I think a lot of the time they're not going to be pulling out particular massive scores unless Bairstow and Warner go nuts. I think Khalil will do well. And then you got Kaul or Sandeep Sharma. I like both of them. I think they're both good. Sandeep definitely with the new ball. I think he does. I think he does very well. I think later on with the death overs he doesn't bowl as well. And Kaul, I just think he's a solid option. Really good bowling, really strong bowling lineup. Couldn't ask for a better opening combination either. But you've got nothing in the middle. You've got real weakness. I don't think they'll win. I think they'll make it to the playoffs. I think they'll make it into the playoffs. They're a tough one, man. They're a tough one. I think they'll make it into the playoffs. They may even reach the final. They're not winning this thing. Yeah, playoffs. I expect playoffs. It's hard, man. That's what makes this league so good to watch. It's difficult. Each team has something. Now, let me just have a look at who's coming up. Royals, Delhi, Kings 11. So Mumbai and Chennai expect to go through to the playoffs. Do I expect Sunrise? Yeah, I'm going to say Sunrise make it to the playoff. Okay, we got Delhi now. Really exciting team, and led by a guy who I think makes a very good captain. You got Dhawan and Shaw. Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi, I think, is going to be world class. I think he's soon going to break into the team. I think him and Shubman Gill, they're going to be stars for years, and I mean top, as in like world class. When people are talking about who's the best batsman in the world, I think they're going to be top contenders for that title, if you will. So I cannot wait to see Shaw. I think he's brilliant. He's still young. I'm just waiting for him to get that consistency, which you get with experience. He's going to be dynamic. Dhawan, I've never rated, but he's a solid. I think, especially with the firepower in the middle here with Delhi, Dhawan's fine, man. He's an anchor, and also when he gets going, he does score decently. But my biggest problem with Dhawan is, for some reason, in 2020, he's not that kind of guy who just flies off at 150, 160 strike rates. I think he's more around, to be honest, 110. He strikes at a lot. 110, 120. And I think 130 generally is semi-rare for him. So he's not going to turn the match around, but he scores at a decent decent tick. And you got guys who can really smash the ball. And sure, oh my God, if Prithvi gets going, he is going to tear them apart. Then you got Shreyas Iyer. Man, oh my God, when this guy hits it, they're huge. He hits them huge. But he's also got that mode of like Kohli, in the sense of he takes responsibility. He keeps hitting the boundaries. He wants to bat deep. He wants to change the match. And I think he's just a phenomenal number 3 to have. And Rishabh Pant is Rishabh Pant. He's at this, when he goes crazy. And I think at the international level, Pant has not cracked it. He has not cracked it. He's sort of stuck between his natural game, which is just to go nuts and just keep striking. And that's what he backs himself on. And I think in domestic cricket, and especially in IPL like this, I think he's going to do well because the bowling quality is less. But at the international level, he's still not broken it. That said, at the IPL, I expect him to do really well. Yeah, hope his wicket keeping isn't so shoddy. He's just such a crap wicket keeper. Then you got Shimron. Shimron was picked up by RCB. Shimron was picked up by RCB because Virat loved him. Just because when West Indies came to India, Shimron he scored 100 and then he might have scored 200s. I remember him also getting a 90. and he was scoring them in the one days, mind you, around 140, 150. This guy has power. So, but I'm not sure. I don't know much about him at the T20 level. I know he can smack a ball. He's primarily a leg side player. I'm talking heave, like bunt, yeah. But again, I said, like, remember, he was picked up by Kohli at RCB. The RCB kit is poison. You know, it makes you 70% of the player you are. So I think he could be phenomenal with the Delhi Capitals. I expect Shimron to make a impact. I really do. Then you got Alex Carey, who's I know he's supposed to be a finisher with Australia, and I know I've seen him play a few good innings where he scores at a good nick. I think that's one of the weakest, because he's not keeping. I'd be tempted to give him the glove, not bunt. But seeing as he's not going to be taking the gloves almost certainly, and they're playing him as a pure batsman and as an overseas option, I don't think he may be the worst overseas option in any team. But he's a finisher. But nah, man, I would have wanted to shell out money for a better option than that. Then you got Akshar and Ashwin. Ashwin has been taken by Kings 11. He's been swapped for a few players. I love Ashwin. I've always loved Ashwin. There's something about that guy that's so watchable. I loved it when he manked the Butler. Because he's right, man. Look, don't get me wrong. I would hate to see mankading just be a everyday thing. It would be so frustrating. Like, imagine you're in the middle of seeing this brilliant innings being scored by someone. And imagine it's like this rear guard fighting innings with proper firepower, and it ends because he was standing outside at the non-strikers and you get mankad. So I hate the mankad thing. But yeah, I understand it from a bowler's point of view, and I love that Ashwin has the balls to do it. I just love it. I love listening to Ashwin. If you've listened to any interviews, I just think he's brilliant. There's one he gave a few years back, speaking to Nasser Hussain on Sky Sports, when England toured India. He gave this interview, and just the way he talks, he's a smart guy. He speaks with passion, and especially in this day and age where, you know, there's a lot of political correctness and stuff, and just when you interview someone, it's so what is it? English players and Australian players should never be, and South African players, do not give them the microphone. They will put you to sleep. They have nothing to them. But Ashwin is brilliant, yeah. And Akshar and Ashwin, especially with Akshar, I think you get more late batting power as well. I mean, you've got enough batting power in this lineup anyway. You've got those young guns as well. Ashwin, Lamichan, and Akshar. Lamichan's a brilliant bowler. Nepal, he's from Nepal. He's a brilliant bowler. Excellent overseas option. Then you got Kagiso, yeah, solid. The Rabada bowls with heart, and I think he's brilliant for the Delhi Capitals lineup, and I expect him to do well. You've got 4 good bowling options, and then you got Ishant Sharma. For a long time, I did not rate this guy. For a long time, this test, he had played like 70 tests, and he had an average touching 40 in tests. I mean, it's crap. But they persevered with him over and over, and the last few years he's really become a better bowler. I think he's got some intelligence. I think the biggest thing he's got is he backs his game more. I think this team's going to do well. The big weakness with this team is that they genuinely have just 5 bowling options. Dhawan doesn't bowl, Prithvi doesn't bowl, Shreyash doesn't, Rishabh doesn't, Shimron doesn't, Kiri doesn't. So you've got 5 bowlers, so they have to give you 4 overs. Now, when you've got 3 spinners, if you get a pitch which isn't spinner friendly, I think that's the big flaw in the Delhi Capitals lineup. You see, if they had just that, if they, instead of say like someone like Kiri, they had a world-class all-rounder, I would say they've got a chance at winning this. They're like the outside shot that really has a real chance of winning this. I hope they get through the playoffs. I don't think they're getting through to the playoffs. I think that 5th bowler thing is just going to be too much, and I think just because there's not enough experience in the middle, and that finishing spot to carry. I just don't think he's got enough firepower. I hate it. I want to see him go to the playoffs. I really do, but I don't think they will. Okay, Kings 11. There's parts of this team I absolutely adore. Rahul, I love him. He's not a captain though, so I'm going to be interested. He's never been a captain, or I've never seen him captain a major team. I'm really interested to see how he does. I'm not convinced he's going to be brilliant. I think he's I love watching him. As an Indian fan, in the India team, I've always wanted Rahul in the team. I think this guy is like a Rohit Sharma level match winner. He will tear you to pieces when he gets going. He can also anchor. He takes on that responsibility, albeit not as well as the highest level players. He's a phenomenal opener. Then you got Agarwal, played brilliant in Australia in the debut series and the test matches. I think this could be Agarwal's breakout IPL season. I've heard that somewhere else as well, and I just completely agree with that. Then this middle order, I'm not sure about it, to be honest. You got Safraz, who is okay. I know he's been scoring big in the Indian domestic teams, and I think he's with Mumbai. Mumbai had a pretty crap season, but he was their shining star. He's had a few good knocks in IPL before with RCB colours. Would I ever pick it? Would I want him as a number 3? No, I think that's a serious weak number 3. Then you got Nicholas Pooran. There's a lot of hype behind this guy. A lot of people believe he's got the game to, as in he's going to be a rock for West Indies. He's going to turn into a proper batsman. I don't know if I fully agree. I think he's going to be one of those who sort of does well, has a few innings that are really brilliant, but I can't see him bring that consistency. So I think as a number 4, I know a lot of people like this option. I don't think he's going to come through. I don't think he is. Then you got literally a player this is the player you watch money to watch. Glenn Maxwell, phenomenal. So inconsistent, put it that way. So he's not like a brilliant choice by any stretch of the imagination. But I can't wait to watch him on a personal level. But as a team, when he gets going, he will win the match for you. He will just go nuts. But he does it 1 in 15 times. That really brilliant knock. Often it's a quick cameo, and often it's just out very quickly without a cameo. Gives you a bowling option as well for a few overs, which is good because Maxwell's not a bad bowler. Yeah, then you got Deepak Hooda, who's a nothing option as well. You got a really weak middle order, man. I'm talking like Sunrise is weak. Chris Jordan, I'm glad to see him. I hope they do play him. He's a good bowler, man. He's a smart bowler. May give you a few hits. Not a brilliant bowler, but yeah, he's smart enough. Gautam, he's the X factor. This guy can really smack the ball, and with the ball, I think he's had a few brilliant performances with the ball in the domestic league. So he's a really good option. He's a really good option to have in that team, and I think he kind of gives them that batting and bowling balance. So I expect him to do well. Mujib, good bowler, good solid bowler. Then you got Ravi Bishnoi. I don't know much about him, but yeah, weak bowling option. Then you got Shami. The thing with Shami, yeah, is this batting lineup is not a consistent one. You've got a few guys who can really steal the show, but no one here is overly consistent. No single batsman in that lineup is overly consistent. So really, a lot of times you expect them not to make too many runs, which means you need a solid batting lineup, which you need a solid bowling lineup. Now Shami, he's a wicket taker, but he goes for runs when he's not on his day. So this team doesn't have the consistency in bowling or batting. In my opinion, they finished bottom of the table. Just not good enough. But I'm looking forward to watching them because I love watching Rahul. I love watching Maxwell. Yeah. Rajasthan Royals. So it's a strong team. It's just not got that many players who excite me to watch. So you got Josh Butler, who's brilliant. He's been playing really well with them as well, and you've got Jaiswal as well. Now, he's been really touted as the next big thing. He's very young. I think he was in the under-19s. He was opening there, and he played some brilliant knocks. So let's see how he does. Often with most players, I think Shubman Gill's been the real exception. Generally, when in the first few seasons in IPL, these guys have been doing brilliant in the under-19 leagues and tournaments. They generally don't do too well. Even Kohli, in 2008, he'd been quite established for 4 years in the Indian team, and first few years of IPL, he wasn't that good. So I don't expect much from Jaiswal. And then you got Butler at the top, who was strong last year, but I don't know, man. I'm not convinced he's going to be able to stay strong. Sanju Samson, a lot of people have massive love for him. On his day, he can play absolutely brilliantly, and you genuinely wonder, like, wow, this guy surely is going to be in the India team soon. But he's not consistent. But he's a good option. He's a good option at number 3. Steve Smith, I love him. I absolutely adore him. Phenomenal player. But make no mistake, man, T20 is definitely his weakest format. He's not got that extra top gear. And that's why, it's like I've spoken a lot in the past about, the big topic in, Kohli or Smith, who is better. And fundamentally, man, the reason you have to give it Kohli is because in the white ball game, especially 2020, he has that top gear. And when he's in top gear, he's flying. Smith doesn't have that top gear. But he's a solid batsman. Ben Stokes, who wouldn't have Ben Stokes in their team? I don't think he's brilliant with the bat. I'm still not convinced he's brilliant with the bat. Obviously, someone's like, but Ravi, what's wrong with you? Like, he's he just had the World Cup. He had the Ashes batting in it. Yeah, but he shouldn't have won. He shouldn't have won either one. He got lucky. He should have been LBW, and the Australia should have done the run out as well before he finished it. And now, I'm talking trash. He's a good batsman. But in my heart, man, there's just something missing with Ben Stokes in the batsman category. Bowling category, he's a wicket taker as well. But you need more from the 4 above him to have Ben Stokes in there saying we've got a really good balance in the batting lineup. Number 6 is Robin Uthappa. I love him, but he's been falling away the last few seasons. Before he was a match winner, he really was. But the thing with Uthappa, even when he was in his match winning stages, he's the kind of guy who'll get you a gorgeous looking 20 or 30 or 40 and then get out. He's always had that Virender Sehwagness about him as well. Like, yes, he can take the game away from you, but you also kind of know he'll get out at any stage. The difference with Viru was, on his day, he never stops. He just keeps going and keeps taking the game away from you. Uthappa keeps getting out in those middling scores. And with his form dipping, I don't think he's going to have a good year at all. You got Barag. I saw him bowl a little bit. He seemed okay, but nothing massively special here. Gopal, he was bowling really well last year. Then you got Jofra in there. Yeah, so you got 2 really good bowling options, and Stokes obviously is a solid bowling option as well. But when you got Barag, Unadgat, I do not know how he's got the money he's got the last few years. He is a horrible bowler in the IPL. Horrible bowler. Oh, to be honest, I wouldn't even play him. He's that bad. And then you've got Rajput. I've seen a few really good performances of Rajput. But again, he's up and down, and on his day, he goes for a lot of runs. But Jofra and Gopal, and maybe like 2 overs from Ben Stokes, I think you've got 10 overs, which are going to be very difficult to get wickets and keep the runs down in every match. Really weak bowling here. You can't have 10 overs which aren't going to threaten people. And you don't have a strong enough batting lineup. I think these guys finish 7th. I think they finish 7th to Kings 11. So yeah, that more or less covers it. So in short, I think Kings 11 and Rajasthan Royals finish at the bottom. I think Delhi and KKR are behind them. But I hope Delhi go through, I really do. And then I think... No, wait, what am I talking about? What about RCB? RCB aren't going to finish. Okay. Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, and either KKR, Sunrisers go to the playoffs, and Mumbai win this, and the rest don't make it to the playoffs. So there you go, man. This has become a very long video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Finally, guys, look, here's the thing. What do you think, man? Okay? Leave a comment. I'm very new on YouTube. I've got like no one watching me. So man, if you leave a comment, firstly, I love to hear it genuinely. And man, I'll address it. I'll address it in the next video. Yeah? My channel is small enough that I'll actually do that. I'd love to hear from you guys. Hit me a like, hit me a subscribe if you like this as well. So you kind of see the next, future videos and stuff like that. You can also comment to say what kind of videos you'd like to see. Any sort of discussion, man, I'm open to it. And guys, of course, if you want more, I have a little radio network which you can join and check out at cricketuncensored.com. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.